What's up everyone? This is Dango bringing you some gameplay footage of Rainbow Six Siege Beta. Now this is going to be my first impressions video. This is actually footage of my first match playing. This is a team deathmatch bomb. So there are two teams of 5 and you're not playing against the AI, you're actually playing against other players. And the objective is for one team to defend the objective, whereas the other team comes in and tries to defuse the bomb.
5 seconds to insertion.
But before anything else, I want to comment on the graphics. Visually, the game looks pretty good in the beta. Maybe it'll look even better when the game actually releases, but I think they want to focus more on gameplay than graphics, and this, in my opinion, is good enough. I'm actually playing on my PC, which is why the quality of the video is a bit better than when I record on the PlayStation 4. And what you're seeing right now isn't even on the highest settings, it's just on high. I wanted to get some more frames per second rather than everything looking visually amazing and being a little bit slow.
Hostiles, first floor.
Now, the character models look great, the guns look great, and the environments around you look fantastic. Also, the lighting, I've noticed that although this is my first match, I've actually played a couple of matches, and what I've noticed was on a lot of maps, I think all of them, they actually have not a cycle, whereas when you play it changes the time of day on the outside, but when you play a match, it'll either be taking place in the evening, at night, or during the day, which is great because you don't want to feel like you're playing the same map over and over. Even though it still feels different when you play it under different lighting conditions. The game itself also, in terms of sounds really good. Everything from the guns to breaking down walls to using gadgets, explosions, everything just sounds the way it should.
Yeah, he just went down.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds remaining. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Alright, now heading into the meat of things, the gameplay. Alright, so as I stated earlier, this is Team Deathmatch Bomb. So you get two teams of 5s and they're all players. Now, one team defends, whereas the other team has to go in, get the objective, and either defuse the bomb or kill everyone on the opposite team. Now, I believe there are 3 rounds in TD Bomb. And in the beginning of each round, each player selects their operative and decides on which gear they want to take with them, which consists of guns, secondary guns, grenades, flashbangs, and if you're a defender, you get to select what kind of equipment you want to take, which could slow down the opposing team. Now, when you begin a match, you have a couple of seconds in the beginning to set up your preparations. So if you're on the defending team, you can put up barricades on the walls, on the windows, and some doorways. Now you can also set up some anti-breach equipment on the floor, and again, certain walls and certain doorways. Also, as a defender, you can set down barbed wire, which slows down the opposing team, or you can also put down some C4, and when the enemy team gets close to it, they'll blow up. Now, as an attacker, in the beginning of the match, you send out a little remote controlled recon device, and you use this to scout out the area so you can find out where the enemy is hiding and what kind of traps they have in stored for you. Now, talking about the environments themselves, they are not completely destructible. Now, although they're not completely destructible, that doesn't take away from the game. In fact, it makes it more balanced. That being said, the developers did a fantastic job in adding multiple entryway points into a building. You could tear down an enemy barricade from a window and hop through it. You could set a breach charge on a barricaded door frame or a garage door and make an explosive entrance. Or if you would like to, you could rappel onto the building, find an entryway point, and then rappel down. And from what I've seen, rappelling is another thing that the developers got right in this game. Instead of there being designated rappelling areas, you just run up to the side of the wall and throw up a rope old school Batman style and then make your way up. They've made it easy and simple to use, and while you're walking up the side of the wall, you can set your breaches on the windows, you can change your positioning, and you can shoot enemies through windows while you're up there. Now going back to gameplay, when you get tagged, you're not necessarily out of the game. Depending on the situation, your character will go into a injured animation on the ground, and while in this state, your teammates will have a chance to revive you. You could even crawl around and try to get closer to your teammates, or you can hold a button down to stop the bleeding, because there's also a bar that goes down in that state, and once it reaches 0, you're dead. Unfortunately, when you're in this state, your character doesn't take out a pistol and go into last stand, so an enemy also has a chance to come up to you and pump lead into you. However, even after you're dead, you can still support your team by using cameras and trying to find locations of the enemy. Overall, for first impressions of the game, I'm really enjoying it and I've had a lot of fun playing it. It's slower paced, more tactical, and it's just a breath of fresh air compared to all the run and gun games that are out right now. There are no respawns in TD Bomb, so when you see that teammate counter ticking down more and more and you're the only one left, you get the feeling that you're screwed. Now the one thing that really stood out when I was playing this was communication. In this game, communication is key, which means it should be played with a mic. Now, of course, you don't have to get a mic, but it would be appreciated when you're calling out tactics, when you're giving the information to the other teammates of where the enemy positions are, or when you're downed and there's an enemy in front of you, you can let your teammates know that the enemy is near your area. And finally, this is not a run and gun game. It's much better to stick together as a team and pick off your enemy. I hope this is just a small taste of what they're actually going to give us in the full game, because truthfully, I'm impressed and I've had a lot of fun with this beta. And I'm definitely not regretting my pre-order, although before I was a little skeptical, but now all that doubt is gone. Well, that's it for me. If you liked the video, like it. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next Dango vid.